Greetings, brothers and sisters. In the name of Yahusha, how y'all doing now? I wanted to come on here because, real quick, last video was like pretty much the most important video I ever dropped. You know, all that information is only more pertinent now as time goes on. But I want to talk about this, so yeah, let's look at this verse right here. In the house of Jacob shall be a fire, in the house of Joseph a flame, in the house of Asaph a stubble. They shall kindle in them, devour them, all that. So, we shall be a fire, a flame, one that burns bright and eternally, huh? And, where have we seen this before? Oh, yeah. Let's read into this a little bit. The wheel of fire is a recurring element throughout the Naruto series. Is an ideal rooting from Ashura Otsutsuki's, which is one of two, basically twin flames, one good, one evil, so the same thing over again, who was like the descendant of the first person who made jutsu. Believed that love is the key to peace and would eventually become the life philosophy, which Hashirama, we're going to talk about him in a little bit, found an individual can live by, which has been passed on as part of their spiritual heritage. It is said that the entire village is like a large family unit, Yasharala, and everybody is of one accord. As previous generations had done before them, Yasharala. The name Hokage literally means fire shadow. And in our language, we will call somebody who judges righteously, a righteous judge who judges as fire. Like, for a male, it'd be Ashana. And for a female, it'd be Ishana. Literally, that's what we would call them, a righteous judge, like who judges as fire. And I just put that connection together today. I never even knew that before. About the Hokage thing, I mean. According to the third Hokage, this is what gives Konohagakure, or the village hidden under the leaves, the strength to continue fighting against all odds. Building willpower and strength of character. Sounds like Israel. It's also symbolic of the hopes and dreams of the previous generation being passed to the next. For example, when Asuma, one of the senseis, died, he passed on his hopes and dreams to his son, which would in turn be passed on to his son. And that just sounds a lot like what we've been speaking about for a long time. And even longer than that if you want to go before I start. And look at the bottom one. I was talking about our inverted duels and how it's the same thing over and over again. So we got the Uchiha clan's curse of hatred. It's fated to clash against the will of fire. And Obito, which is one of the main villains, believes that Sasuke and Naruto, both respectively embodying the polar ideals, are destined to fight to the death. Jesus saying, but I don't even gotta explain that. And about the Uchiha clan. Remember, Sasuke Uchiha has a curse mark, right? The mark of Cain. And the way that they get their Mangekyo Sharingan, which is one of the most powerful abilities in the whole series, is by grotesque, basically like slaughtering and sacrificing of your own relatives. Like, to get the Mangekyo Sharingan, you have to kill somebody close to you, which is seed of Cain activity. Some of the two most popular characters and most powerful characters in the series, like I was talking about earlier, Hashirama, which is basically Ninja Jesus, and his rival Madara, which is like Ninja Satan or something. It's in the names, like Hashirama Senju, Hashirama Hamashiach, Madara, Murderer, Cain. This is how these niggas operate, bro. Go down here, something else to do. Fire Emblem, Genealogy of the Holy War. Music video composed of 114 tracks. Norse and Irish mythology are the main contributors to names found in the game, and as we already know, all these pantheons or so-called gods are the same things. They're based off of fake gods, which have a whole bunch of basically false aliases around them. But the real fake gods are basically based off us, the true, like, chosen people. Because you have to realize our Father governs the entire universe. So when I say chosen people, you know, at this point it should be pretty obvious. We're not talking about just Earth. Read at the bottom, and this game came out a long time ago. Read at the bottom. Genealogy of the Holy War takes place in the continent of Judah? With 8 countries, and each were founded by the 12 Crusaders. Come on, man. Another popular game that I happen to play a lot. Well, I used to. I don't really play too much of anything anymore like that. Dark Souls. The first flame was a storyline concept in Dark Souls. Basically, this is what caused life. Before that, it was just big ass trees and a bunch of stone dragons. And then fire occurred and created disparity. Now, what people have to understand is disparity, like positive and negative, and this duality shit is completely different. You can have hot and cold, light and dark, and top and bottom without having evil in the world. If you cut the lights off in your room, it's going to be dark. If you blow on your food, it's going to be cold. None of that shit needs evil to exist. You feel me? But this is just, we ain't gonna get too much into Dark Souls this video, because these types of games are just complete inversion from the ground up. They don't even try to like hide some truth in there. They invert everything. So we're gonna talk about that some other time. On to the meat, what really made me even want to make this video. Now, I'm pretty sure everybody's watching this has at least heard of One Piece. This is literally the most popular manga ever, literally. And let me tell you something right now. This entire series is nothing but predictive programming. This might be like the worst one in terms of like what's to come, with just the state of how the world's gonna be in, with us running around, for example. It's like this is what it is. Obviously flipped, some under exaggerated, a lot under exaggerated, and some over exaggerated, but like this is the type of shit they do, bro. And this series has been going on for a long time as well. As you can see, we got the Will of D. At the top, I say one of the 5 elders stated that D means danger. In certain places, the clan of D has been called by another name, God's arch enemy. Let me explain that. So anybody with D in their name is from the fated family of D. Yeah, he has spoken many times about how they use storms to represent us a lot, whether storm from the X-Men or just lightning storms in cartoons or something. And elders of the country were quite aware of the storm that those with the D were known to cause. The law of D has been secretly inherited worldwide throughout history, and the family of D was referred to as the natural enemy of God. Now we know that in this world, their God is basically the evil God, the fake one, the false God who wants blood sacrifices. So when they say the natural enemy of God, they mean the natural enemy of the apostle, Yahweh, us. According to Rosiante, the D's are considered to be the natural enemy of the celestial dragons, as celestial dragons are considered to be gods in this universe. And as you can see, the main character's direct lineage, his grandfather and his father, and him are all named Monkey. Monkey King. The Saiyans have monkey tails. They call us monkeys, all right, boy. I threw this in here just to reinforce it's all to do with them bloodlines, man. And yours is royal. So let's take a look at these 5 elders. They are the highest ranking celestial dragons, which are supposed to be our natural enemy in this show, and the heads of the world government. They rule the entire world with only one individual of higher authority. His name is M, who sits on an empty throne. Let's take a closer look at these niggas, these 5 elders. Who do these people remind you of? And it said they control the whole world, right?
The Will of D is an as of yet unexplained force that surrounds select individuals within the One Piece world, all of whom carry the middle initial D. And of course, it should come as no surprise that our protagonist Monkey D. Luffy phenomena that occur when the Will of D makes itself known. The first of which is a general sense of extreme chaos. Those who bear the Will of D are said to cause a storm, which can quite clearly be seen in almost every action Luffy has ever taken, such as the invasion of Enies Lobby, the mass breakout of Impel Down, or the conflict with Charlotte Lin on Whole Cake Island. But this storm is not exclusive to his actions alone, as other bearers stir their own brands of chaos. A common phenomena occurs in the unfortunate or perhaps even fated event in which the bearer of the initial D faces the unavoidable prospect of death. In such situations, they are often seen laughing or smiling, having come to an incredibly quick acceptance of their fate and holding no fear of death whatsoever. This is a trend so common that it has been observed no less than 6 times in the series, the most prominent of which being the very first moments of One Piece where Goldie Roger is executed.
No fear of death. All the true prophets never feared death, never feared death. Yo, shit definitely didn't fear death. What you mean? What is there to be scared of? What we got on the other side is better than what we had now. He did.
Acceptance of death, this may have to do with the third common factor surrounding the Will of D, which is the nature of inherited will. Now, this idea is a huge part of One Piece in general, and it certainly isn't only the bearers of D who carry inherited will. However, it does seem to be particularly potent within them. And this is highlighted by the final words of the legendary figure Whitebeard, who, while not a D himself, was told of its significance directly by Roger, who went on to claim that killing someone bearing the Will of D would not extinguish the flames of their will, and that someone would eventually rise to inherit that will. And Whitebeard went on to specifically mention that someday someone would appear to carry on his old rival Roger's wishes.
The will of Shem, the will of Jacob, the will of Seth, the will of Abel, the will of Yahuwah. Purge evil. Be beacons of light in this world. You get the picture. I know you do. I already know you do.
While we've not met any of them at the time of this recording, it was also mentioned by Jaguar D Sol that everyone in his family also bore the initial D, which is interesting because the familial nature of it would potentially point to the idea of an old nation or clan who all bore the initial and who was split up and moved all over the world for unknown reasons. In that regard, one particularly popular theory even postulates that the Will of D represents the even more mysterious ancient kingdom, which was defeated by the alliance of the 20 kingdoms who went on to become the world government, essentially making those bearing the initial D the forgotten refugees of the world.
You heard it out his mouth right there. That's literally what happened. Like, we lost to the heathen nations and they took over everything for the time being until we come back and take it again. That's literally the One Piece story. He just said it. Literally, dude. Like, you can't make this up because it's not made up. It's based on a true story.
This specific moment is when Luffy punches the Celestial Dragon. Not exactly from a fight or battle scene, but nonetheless it's one of the most powerful rage moments ever. The scene setup was done really well. The Celestial Dragons are considered the most important people in the world in terms of authority and the power they control in the form of the world government. The moment when Hachan gets shot was frustrating, but the payoff we got when Luffy gets pissed off is simply amazing. If anything, this felt like righteous rage and was so satisfying to watch.
You heard what he said, right? Righteous anger. Now, something about these YouTube channels, especially the ones that be them top 10, like mysterious artifact type channels, these niggas be having some shit going on behind the scenes, man. You just gotta be wary. These motherfuckers is everywhere. And that's not at all what made me even look up his name, though, bro. I had said some real Masonic type shit before, so when I saw that, I just kind of was like, wow, but what is there to be surprised about? Well, blessings to you all, praises to the kingdom in the name of Yahushua, to the Father, Yahuwah, many praises. The will is inherited, is burning brighter than ever. I can see it, I can feel it, and it's just a matter of time. But before we go, though, I want you to think about everything the devil has done. Him, his wicked angels, like what have they done to you, people you care about? Just think about all the iniquity in the world, all the hurt, the lies, the fear, the panic. Just give it like 2 or 3 minutes. And we only gonna have a problem if you don't react or feel like this right here.
No!